There are hidden costs that show up after you buy a house. Now, I want to be really clear right from the start. This is not about scaring you away from buying. That really wouldn't make sense for me to do, right? I'm a realtor and all. And it's definitely not about saying home ownership isn't worth it. Buying a home can be an incredible move. But the buyers who feel the most confident and successful after closing are the ones who understand that the purchase price is not the finish line, it's the starting point. So today, we're going to talk about the costs that don't always show up in listings or loan estimates and how you can position yourself so that when you move in, home ownership feels manageable and enjoyable and not overwhelming or stressful. Information is power. Now, while you won't be able to prepare for everything that may come down the pipe in the future, there is comfort in knowing the potential variables that the future may hold. Even if you don't have all the physical resources in place, at least you're mentally and emotionally prepared, which provides some level of peace. Now, one of the first hidden costs that people notice after buying a home is the utilities. Utility costs often look very different once you're living in a home compared to when you're touring. Square footage matters. Ceiling height matters. Insulation matters. Older systems versus newer systems, they all matter. A home that feels comfortable during the showing doesn't always tell the full story about what it costs to heat and cool it month to month. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the home. It just means that real life usage reveals things that a walkthrough can't. The buyers who handle this the best are the ones who plan for some fluctuation instead of expecting their bills to look exactly like their previous space. When you do find a home that you're interested in, you can always ask your realtor to ask about the cost of monthly utility bills. The seller should have that information easily available and be willing to share. So positioning yourself here looks like leaving margin in your budget, not assuming that everything will be identical to what you've been used to. Now, another cost that often surprises people is routine maintenance, not emergency repairs, not worst case scenarios, just normal home ownership. Things like air filters, pest control, lawn care, servicing the HVAC systems, minor plumbing fixes, and just general upkeep. When you rent, many of these things happen behind the scenes. When you own, they're your responsibility, but they're also predictable. The key difference between homeowners who feel stressed and homeowners who feel confident isn't whether maintenance happens, it's whether they plan for it. If you expect small costs to show up occasionally, they don't feel like surprises. They feel like part of the rhythm of home ownership. Now, another hidden cost that shows up fairly quickly is furnishing and setting up your home in general. This one sometimes catches people off guard because it doesn't feel like a housing cost. But once you move in, you realize your old furniture may not fit the space the same way. You may need window coverings, outdoor furniture, storage solutions, maybe even lighting changes. Designing, shopping for, and decorating your new space is a very exciting journey, especially if you've planned ahead. Positioning yourself well here doesn't mean doing everything at once. It means knowing that settling in is an ongoing process, not a single weekend project. And this is a good place to pause for just a minute. Now, if you're watching this because you're planning to move to the Shreveport-Bossier area and you're trying to picture what life here actually looks like after the boxes are all unpacked, well, I've created a relocation guide as a realtor that walks through a lot of these elements that people want to know when they're making their new city feel like home. You can download it using the link in the description below if you think that'll be helpful to you. Now, another hidden cost people don't always anticipate is insurance adjustments. Your homeowner's insurance premium may change after the first year. Property taxes may also adjust depending on assessments, and escrow payments will shift. These aren't surprises. They're part of how home ownership works, but they can catch people off guard if they expect everything to stay exactly the same. Buyers who position themselves well, they understand that their monthly housing cost is not frozen forever. They build flexibility into their budget instead of expecting perfection. That flexibility creates peace of mind. Let's also talk about time, because time is a cost that doesn't show up on a spreadsheet. Owning a home takes time. You need time to schedule maintenance, time to learn the systems of the home, time to manage the projects gradually, and for many people, that time investment, it feels very rewarding. They're investing in their investment. Now, for others, it requires an adjustment, but the key is knowing that ownership comes with responsibility and deciding how much of that responsibility you want to take on at once. Successful homeowners pace themselves. They don't try to do everything immediately. They prioritize, they adjust, they research, and they plan. Now, another cost that sometimes surprises people is emotional energy. Buying a home is very exciting, and it's also a big transition. You're learning a new space, a new neighborhood, new routines. You're finding your way around a new grocery store and even helping your kids settle into a new school. But even positive changes require adjustment. Buyers who thrive after closing, they give themselves permission to settle in slowly, and they don't expect everything to feel perfect right away. They allow the home to become theirs over time. Now, here's where I want to shift the perspective slightly. All of these hidden costs are not signs that buying a home was a bad decision. They're just signs that ownership is real life, not just photos to post on Instagram. And when you understand that ahead of time, you move through your first year with confidence instead of second guessing your decision. That's the difference. Positioning yourself for success after buying, it's not about having unlimited money. It means leaving breathing room in your budget and expecting some learning curves. Knowing that not everything needs to happen all at once and asking questions when something feels unclear. Now that's it. This is also where having the right professionals around you really matters. A good lender is going to help you understand your numbers. A good inspector is going to help you understand the condition of your home. And yes, a good realtor is going to help you understand what is normal, what is optional, and what can wait. Now, my job as a realtor is not just to get you to closing, but it's also to help you to feel confident after closing when the real experience begins. So if you're thinking about buying and you're wondering if you're truly ready, a better question than "can I buy?" is, am I positioned to enjoy this home after I buy it? Because when the answer is yes, home ownership feels so empowering. Now, if you're dreaming of home ownership, but you're just not sure if you can come up with that down payment, and you want to know if you qualify for a zero down payment option, click here to watch this video on USDA loans.